Hi, I'm Catherine Etherly, and this is my reflection over my educational technology class EDCI 318 from this past semester, spring 2018. So question 1 says, think, discuss, and show what you've accomplished this semester. And then it asks, what surprised you this semester with this technology class? And were any of the assignments particularly easy or hard? So to answer this question, I'm just surprised that I really can do technology and just how much that I've learned. Wouldn't have considered myself a techie person. It made me nervous to even think about taking this class, but I've learned so much this semester that I can't wait to take with me into the classroom. I'm surprised that these educational tools and apps that we had assignments over this semester every single week, that they will forever stick with me, and that they are tools that students can use and that I can use to help my students learn. And I'm also surprised, I guess, too, on the other side of it, just how long the assignments took to complete, and how much planning goes into each assignment. Because although it's a very useful tool, you do have to plan out when you're going to get it done and do the assignments. And I had to plan out when I was going to do the assignments for this class, and also just managing your time well. That's something that surprised me this semester, just how these tools do take a while to use, but they are very beneficial in the end. So this is a screenshot of the Everyone Can Create assignment project that is on my Weebly page. And this assignment was surprisingly the hardest for me personally, because of just the amount of time that it takes to, especially for the photography, to choose a scenery, which this is taken outside of Farmhouse Fraternity at K-State. And then take the photos. Think about how you want to take the photos, first of all, because there's 7 activities in the photography section. There's light exposure, depth effect, editing, cropping, etc. And so then you have to take the photos, which takes a while. And then I decided to make a public Instagram account for this assignment. And on each posting they're made into the activities, and then for the caption, I made it into a reflection, and I submitted this assignment to my teacher, and she wasn't able to access the photos, which is not her fault, but then, so I had to re-download all the photos onto my computer and then put them into my Weebly page. And there was about 12 photos in all, and then copy and paste each reflection onto that page. And so this is a great learning experience. That was a great learning experience for me personally, but also probably something I will not do as a future teacher in my classroom for my students. Although this assignment gave me a deeper appreciation for my students that will complete these kinds of assignments, like photography and video and music, and etc. So this is a screenshot of my Adobe Spark video on my Weebly page, and this assignment was surprisingly very simple and easy to create, and will be something that I will use in my future classroom as a teacher for my lessons, because it is very helpful for students who are going to be absent or sick or miss school, just for them to see this visually and audibly and learn the material that they need to know. And this is also an assignment that I will probably have my students do in my classroom, because I think it is something that is going to be helpful for them to learn in the future, and that can carry them through their educational careers. So question 2 asks, what assignments made me think in a way I had never thought of before? So this is a screenshot of the note card confession video on my Weebly page. And this is an assignment that made me think in a way I'd never thought of before, because there are so many little steps that you have to do beforehand to shoot the video. And as well as during the video, you have to make sure that you're flipping the cards right, you have the right pacing, and that even maybe to add a little bit of enhancement music you can think about to add in as well, and make sure it's the right volume. You can go online and look at YouTube. I did the song Oceans, and I wrote my note cards on Mother Teresa. You could choose either a person or event to share your story on your note cards about. With an event, it's a little bit easier because usually there's only 1 to 2 like variations of a story, and they're pretty similar overall. But with a person, you have to look at all the biographies online, all the sources, and then write down some facts on a notebook paper about that person. And you have to cohesively think about how you want to display that story about them. And then not only that, but the note cards need to be big enough to write that story on. And so I had to go out and buy note cards for this project. I went to 3 stores and finally found the right size note cards. And then after you kind of get those facts about what you want to share about that person cohesively down in your head, you have to write them out neatly on that note card so people can see that story that you want to share with them. And then you have to get into a quiet space, which I was at home shooting this video, and it's a little bit harder in college when you're around a lot of people a lot of the time. But in the classroom, it might be a little bit easier to do this with your students, have your students do this assignment, because you could have them kind of like organize themselves and kind of break up this lesson into parts, into lesson parts that they can complete at school. And then you can have them download the app onto whatever kind of device that school has, and then they can go home and shoot the video at home. But yes, thinking about pacing when you're flipping the cards, holding them correctly, having the right level of volume on the music, having your note cards look neat. It all takes a little bit, and this assignment really taught me a lot about patience, and it's a very impactful and life-changing kind of assignment, but at the same time, it's probably something you have to kind of think about more as a teacher. So the next question asks, what assignments made me think that I could potentially use them in the future? This is a screenshot picture from my Weebly account of my Adobe Spark page on the Middle Ages in Europe. And this page took me a little bit longer than the Adobe Spark video, but I will probably use this in the future because it's a helpful application to send out to students who are absent, sick, missing that day. It's visually pleasing to the eye, as well as very simple lesson that's short and quick and effective for students to see what material you want them to know for that day. Again, this is the Adobe Spark video, and as you can tell, I am sold on this educational technology tool, and it is something I'm going to use in the future in my classroom because it did not take too long to create. This was probably my shortest assignment, yet this is a very effective and just professional looking tool that communicates the content in a very simple and visually and audibly effective way that will likely catch students' attention and keep them engaged in what you want them to learn. So the next question asks, how did this class make me think? It made me think in so many ways. It made me think that I can do it, that I can do technology, and I am able to do it, and if I put my mind to it, that I can learn it and that it will be effective in the classroom. And as a teacher, I need to know these things because that's where our world is heading, is technology, and especially in the classroom, that is what teachers should be teaching students. And I want to be able to communicate effectively to my students, and if that is the way that they learn, then I want to meet them where they're at, and I want to help them learn and help them grow in these tools that are important for our future. And so this class, some things that this class taught me, even just in my character, how did it build my character? Well, I have definitely learned patience, just with technology, and just learning that what I want to learn sometimes might take a while, and that's okay. But I just need to be patient and persistent and have endurance, and knowing that it will come. And okay, so the next question says, what has changed about my thinking with regards to technology in the classroom? I still think technology is really hard, but it's worth it. And I realized that in this class, that it is worth it, and it's a great tool, and it's a tool that I will want to use in the future, and that I will continue using, and it will be so helpful to my students, and that is the reason it's worth it to me to use technology. So yes. Okay, so the last question says, what was a wow or aha moment for me this semester? And I rewrote this question to ask, when did the light bulb moment occur to me that I realized that I, in fact, did learn? So to answer this question, honestly, I don't really know when it occurred to me that I learned, but as I started to work on each assignment, I started to put puzzle pieces together that I would have never realized if I wouldn't have worked on the assignment, if I wouldn't have decided to try in the assignment, and to try different standards to incorporate into the assignment, such as the Spark video or Spark page, or even the poster on Canva. Honestly, I think throughout this whole semester, it's been an aha moment for me in technology and in this class, and just learning that these tools teach me something new and different and fresh, and give me a new outlook on technology and how I will use it for my students' sake in the future, and to teach them and to help them grow and learn in these aspects that are going to be so important for them. So really just this whole semester has been an aha moment for me that I'm very grateful for.